Oh, excuse me. It must be the eggs. Oh, we got somebody else knocking on the door. Who is Oh, it's Griff.
Hey.
Nice.
Jeff, the guy behind you looks like he's ready to grab you.
Yeah, and we'll read the whole thing.
Oh yeah, he's reaching over. Oh, that's IT support never really changes. Oh, right. That's from Star Trek: The Next Generation, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other side is from the It crowd.
Isn't that Gordy or
Gordy LaForge? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're both saying, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?"
Yeah, it's the same thing, only 300 years later.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, or somewhere. Okay. Good morning. Thanks a lot for dropping by the Network Breakfast. Here we all are. We're gathered again, and we're going to go through our routine of saying hi to everybody so that you could get used to the players in this particular performance. And we are participants in the Network Breakfast. And today, it's going to be 5 secrets of great leaders who get the most out of meetings. Leaders, in this case, not just the owner or managers, but whoever's calling the meeting. And if you don't have a good time at a meeting, good meetings are an opportunity, as everything should be, but a meeting especially. So let's, we're going to introduce everybody, and I'm waiting for Griff to get, maybe by the time we get down to him, he'll be video and audio. Okay, so because he was first on the docket, we're going to say good morning to,
Whatever direction I am on your screen.
Yes, you're right here. So good morning, Jeff Hexter. Let's hear what's going on with you and tell us about your day.
So I'm Jeff Hexter. My company is Always Keep Computing, and I work with the home and the small office users who are stuck with technology questions and have tried asking everybody else for help, but then now waiting for some real help. I love going to people's homes, even with putting a mask on and showing up and troubleshooting their Macs and their Windows machines. If you know someone who is frustrated with a laptop or frustrated with their slow computer and really are ready to pull out their hair, I'd love them to call me so that I can help them not be as frustrated. I tell people when they're ready to throw it out the window, I want to be the one to catch it. At the very least, I can recycle it for them. Jeff Hexter, Always Keep Computing. We pull out our hair so you don't have to.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. And welcome back. We missed you last Tuesday morning. I understand you had a little car trouble. Hopefully that's all.
All good.
All good. Okay.
And less expensive than I expected.
Well, doubly good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to say good morning to the entrepreneur of See-Through Windows LLC. That would be the mighty Chris Walters.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? I provide vinyl replacement windows, patio doors, and I cover a territory from the Sandusky to the Pennsylvania border, Cleveland to Canton. I'll go out and take a look at your properties. Within one working day, you'll have an email from me with a quote. And right now, or last night, I got a letter from the manufacturers. Because of COVID-19, they have moved our delivery time. They are now, I had two different companies delivering to us in 1 week. Because of this situation, they are now moved it to 2 and 3 weeks, which is going to put us in a real bind. But if anybody asks you, we're going to be an extra week to 10 days out because of this situation. I hope these guys get back to where they are, but I'm telling you right now, it didn't affect us at all until right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chris. And hopefully all of that will get
I would just like to add one more thing, Tom.
Yeah.
The door company that we were using also went out of business in Michigan because they closed them down and would never let them open up.
And this is for the regular front doors or garage doors, or
no, this is like your home's front door, side door, whatever it is.
Man door.
They were a very large producer, and Michigan closed them, of course, for COVID, and just never let them open back up. And they just said no, we're done.
Wow. Too bad.
Yeah.
Well, somebody, I mean, you know, we need doors, so somebody will,
Yeah, somebody will pick up, buy them or
somebody
pick them
pick
up
up
or
the
something.
slack or buy that company or whatever. Okay, well, good luck with all of that, Chris. I know it could be, you know, somebody needs doors, and there you are without a manufacturer. It's too bad, but it'll get sorted out eventually. Okay, thanks for coming by. And now we're going to say good morning to Harry Bernstein, Esquire, the learned Harry Bernstein. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning. They never explained to us in law school what the Esquire means. One day I'll look that up. But anyways, I am an attorney. I really have two primary areas of business I work on. From a legal standpoint, I work with families who have kids or young adults with disabilities. We try to put a plan in place for long-term success that involves educational issues, estate planning issues, medical issues, living situations, etc. And then I'm also the executive director of a consulting firm for the cannabis industry, Realty Compliance Partners. It's a very unusual area of the law where 75% of the population wants a product to be legal. More than 75% of the, or I shouldn't say that, about 2/3 of the states have made a product legal, but the federal government still believes that cannabis is just as destructive as heroin and more destructive than cocaine. Our firm is preparing current cannabis licensees for the inevitable federal legalization of cannabis. So that's what I do. I always tell everybody that if you have any type of legal situation, give me a call because I have 200 fellow law students plus 30 years of lawyers I've worked with that we can get your situation solved. So
Excellent.
that is me.
Excellent. Thank you, Harry, and thanks for dropping by, being participant in our discussion
Hey, I
today.
enjoy this.
Thank you. And also, speaking of enjoyment, here comes a person that provides enjoyment for much of humanity, the ever popular master photographer, Scott Morrison. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, everybody. As Tom said, my name is Scott Morrison. My company is Discovery
Oops.
Photographer, have been since 1991. That's almost 30 years now. Do everything from legal, corporate, industrial, architectural, do a lot of business headshots, modeling portfolios, and on the weekends, I love to crash parties. The party part of it, well, not so much this year, but it's going to come back full strength next year when things are much better, and we'll make up for this year. Kind of, you know, it'll be better. Also, I do a lot with the film industry. Right now, I have 3 current projects we're working on, 2 horror and 1 mystery. So that's kind of fun. One we wrapped on Saturday, and we have 2 more that within the next 2 weeks will also be wrapped on. I'm the official photographer of the city of Beechwood, the Beechwood Buzz, and I'd love to be your official photographer. My name is Scott Morrison. Company is Discovery Photo, when image counts.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott. Thanks for dropping by here. And now we're going to say good morning to Marty Kelbel. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Let me first say thank you for being Coldwell Banker top workplace to work at. I really enjoy working there. I can also work for you and help you find your perfect home. Whether you need upsize, downsize, right size, whatever you need to do. Also am Smart Home Certified, New Construction Certified, Senior Residential Specialist. So I have a variety of areas to help you with whatever your needs may be. And with the interest rates so historically low, now's a good time to sell. It's a seller's market. And on top of all of that, I'm one of the few agents will do leasing. You rent, or if you have a son or a daughter who you want to get them out of the house, I can also do a rent for them. And then help you downsize so they won't move back. Anyways, Marty Kelbel, Coldwell Banker Schmidt Realty. My number is 544-4164. Thank you and have a great days, guys.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you being here, as always.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to say good morning to Lee Jackson from Right at Home. Lee Jackson, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Lee Jackson with Right at Home. We provide non-medical home care. Basically, the idea is we want people to be able to age in place, wherever they're comfortable at, whatever that might be. That's their house, their apartment, their condominium. We even provide companionship if they're already in an assisted living facility. The idea is to keep people safe and happy and healthy. And particularly in this time and age, we go to extra efforts to make sure that everything is safe, both with what's going on with the virus, but what's also going on in their lives to prevent them from falling down and to help them with activities of daily living in order to make sure that they're the best that they can possibly be and that they're in a good environment and that they're happy. So companionship is a huge part of what we do and trying to be friendly and helping people and driving people to appointments and things like that. So if you need any help in the non-medical home care arena, or better, more importantly, if you know friends and family or anybody like that has the ability to provide service, needs those services, please reach out to Right at Home. We are there to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee, and thanks for dropping by here today and participating in our little discussion. Now we're going to say good morning to rlord. Good morning, Rob, from your lanai.
Good morning, everyone. I help you guys get to and through retirement. I'm a financial advisor. We do full financial planning services, from investments to plans to distribution to wealth management. If you need help with any of that, or just sitting down and starting off with a basic, you know the word, budget, just to start getting out of debt and controlling your money, then I might be the person for you. We can at least have a chat. Rob Lord, Kennard Financial Services.
Excellent. Thank you, Rob, and thank you for providing a wonderful service. Let's move on to Trina. Good morning, lovely and talented Trina.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, if I remember, Esquire was actually sort of a status of a gentleman or someone of good character. So it didn't used to be associated with lawyers. That's not how it originated.
I was going to say
anyhow.
that would probably only cover about 20% of my class. We're good people. I wouldn't put us up there as all completely good characters, but
Okay, at least you said it.
but now that's right.
Okay.
I said we're good people, though.
That's right. At least you are. My name is Trina Gigax. My company is Fresh Eyes Reading, Fresh Eyes Reading LLC, and it's fresheyesreading.com. I'm a copy editor, and I work with all kinds of written property, whether it's a letter going out to a company or through an email, website content, presentations, newsletters. Mainly, I have two focuses. The first one is for the reader, so that the writing is in its best possible condition, whether it's through syntax or sentence, getting rid of, eliminating unnecessary words and finding stronger verbs, that kind of thing, so that it's easiest on your reader. And the second is so that you are the most professional, you'll look the most professional you can possibly be, because you want whatever you put out on your web content or in writing to be as professional as you are. Otherwise, you lose credibility. So again, Trina from Fresh Eyes Reading. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Trina. Okay, now we're going to say good morning to probably our youngest member. That would be Isaac, the artist. Good morning, Isaac. Let's hear from you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Isaac Ruiz. I'm a professional local illustrator, but I'm present today representing the Creation Alliance, or the Creationist Alliance. I am the president, chairman, and executive director of a nonprofit organization founded upon the purpose of encouraging the expression of creativity to treat mental health in a positive and healthy way. We help people who are living on with mental health challenges, including those on the autism spectrum. And we've our mission is to provide them safe, free to access spaces in the local community, fully supplied as an outlet to express their inner creativity through art. By providing these free art therapy centers, we're going to provide an alternative healthy treatment for these individuals as opposed to conventional means of treating mental health, and will make a positive impact upon these communities with these free spaces that are available. So we have been founded as of March 12th of this year. So we're in the early stages of everything. And we have begun some major work. And I'm proud to be a part of this.
Excellent. It sounds great. Thank you, Isaac. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your contribution to society. It sounds like you're going to be an integral part of what's happening in your world. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Now we're going to say good morning to Mike. Mike Bentley, good morning.
Good morning to all. I'm Mike Bentley from the Brooks and Stafford Company, and we are a full-service insurance brokerage agency. We can handle all of your insurance needs, from bonding, commercial insurance. My area of experience is in the health insurance realm. I work with Medicare beneficiaries. I work with non-for-profits, small businesses. And right now, during the COVID-19 experience, we are seeing a lot of individuals who are furloughed who now have the challenge of needing short-term health insurance or questioning the validity of paying a whole lot of money to be on COBRA. So give me a call and I can assist you with some transition type of coverage and guide you in the right direction for your insurance needs. Mike Bentley from the Brooks and Stafford Company.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for being here. Now we're going to say good morning to Griff. We're going to say, Griff, it's so good to see you today. And let's hear what's happening in your part of the world. Thank you, Griff.
I'm Griff King with Dollar Bank. We're rotating in. We're starting to come back from being in the work at home mode. I'm in 3 days and then out 2 days, and then it alternates back and forth. It's a little strange walking around on the floor and maybe having 10% of our people here, but it is what it is these days. I'm very involved in the internet banking piece of our business and service everything from the sole proprietor up to the municipal market. So Griff King, Dollar Bank. Glad to be
Excellent.
here.
I'm so glad to hear that the banks, their lobbies are opening. I'm guessing there's a minimum or maximum number of people that are allowed in the lobby at any one time?
Yeah, it'll vary by branch because of the size of different sizes of the branch. But yeah, they do restrict it and at minimum 6 feet apart. And if there are too many people lining up, they have to wait outside until.
Sure. And I'm guessing everyone has a mask.
Yep.
Tellers
Absolutely.
And bank managers and you and customers, everybody with a mask.
Yeah, the only time you can be without a mask is like right now when I'm sitting in my office with the door closed. But if I'm in a common area, elevator, in the building, anywhere, you have to have a mask.
Okay.
And the branch time.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Griff. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for sharing that bit of banking information, banking lobby. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna share the screen, and you and I are going to we're gonna go over the text of this little presentation together. And I'll get this started here, and I'll share the screen. Let's see. And we'll click here, share screen. And I'll pick this, and I'll hit this. I'm guessing everybody's getting that full screen?
Yep.
Okay. 5 secrets of great leaders who get the most out of meetings. Well, the term leader, anybody who hosts a meeting, you don't have to be the owner of the company, but if this is your meeting, you need a meeting with one or a bunch of folks. Here's 5 things to keep in mind that would help it go better. But all too often we hear complaints about meetings being misguided, unproductive, and a waste of time. For a good leader or a host of a meeting, this perception should raise a huge red flag. Meetings are actually wonderful opportunities to further a project, encourage productive dialogue, gain a buy-in, and build collegial relationships in the workplace. A skilled leader recognizes the importance of meetings and knows how to handle them in a way that optimizes their outcomes. Here are 5 key ways a skilled leader or a host of a meeting gets the most out of those meetings. Number 1, a good leader is clear about the meeting's purpose. Everyone knows that a meeting without a clearly defined and communicated purpose is a recipe for futility. Successful leaders, however, will go beyond merely providing a purpose statement. They will arrive at a meeting knowing what they need to get out of it, and they will be prepared to steer the meeting in the right direction should the conversation go off topic. A creative approach that can be useful in meetings is to map out the agenda using a visual diagram, such as a mind map, and use it to document discussion points, decisions, and action items during the meeting. This is like the foundation of a good meeting. Once you know what the purpose of that meeting is, then you do whatever you can to make sure that happens. Be clear about the meeting's purpose. A good leader makes sure everyone speaks the same language. In a meeting, it can be easy to be misunderstood what others are saying. It's also easy to be misunderstood yourself. When speaking in front of people, and in some cases on the spot, there's a risk that messages may come across in a skewed or less than clear way. A great leader recognizes this risk and takes steps to ensure that everyone is speaking the same language. This could include developing an annotated agenda that includes key messages, coming to the meeting prepared with speaking points, and taking the time to speak slowly and ask others to clarify any positions that seem vague. This is just as important for a small team meeting, maybe just you and one other person, as it is for a large board meeting. I know these things sound simplistic, but it's good to look at it so you can go into the meeting with a bright outlook that things will get done because of this meeting. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. Here's number 3. A good leader is patient and encourages everyone to engage in a conversation. Imagine the worst meeting you've been to. Did the chair point fingers, assign blame, or worst of all, resort to threats? This is no way to run a meeting, nor is it an acceptable way to treat staff or other company employees. Conversely, a good leader will run a meeting in a way that fosters respect, empathy, and professionalism. Productive meetings focus on strategy, information, and decision-making. A way to ensure this is to never go into a meeting blind. Know what the problems are before the meeting starts so you can react in a calm and professional manner. A good leader doesn't treat differences as weakness. Along the same lines, a good leader will ensure that their meetings are safe places to disagree. I should have made this sentence bold. A good leader will ensure that their meetings are safe places to disagree. Strong leaders know that success doesn't come from surrounding yourself with yes men. To make the most of a meeting, it's important to consistently and repeatedly focus on results and not on egos. If you demonstrate to others through consistent actions that you will value and respect different opinions, you will build trust and encourage meaningful dialogue. You never know from where or from whom the next great idea will come.
Yeah, that's true. Tom, what you were saying about safe places to disagree.
Yes, I love
I
that.
never, I guess I never thought about it that way. I just thought of it as a place that it's a good place to have an open discussion and share ideas.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think some people treat it as a place for them to have get up on their high horse and get their opinion out there so that they look better, instead of treating it as a team effort.
Right. Well, that probably falls in the category of yes men, like as if you're there just to convince everybody to think like you. Whereas what good is that meeting? That's like that's really not a meeting where you're having a mind meld of sorts. You want to hear what other people think, and that goes to the last sentence here. You never know from where or from whom the next great idea will come. But you have to be willing to accept a great idea if you're the host of the meeting. It isn't just going to be all about you. It's going to be about the sum of the meeting parts, you and another person, or you and the whole room. I think it's important that you, just like with, you don't treat differences as a weakness. Somebody thinks different than you got to listen to what they say. It may be valuable. And I love that a meeting is a safe place to disagree. Okay, now we're going to move on to 5. Okay, now this is figuratively speaking. A good leader buys the first round. In fostering professionalism, there can be a tendency to become distant, disconnected, and impersonal. A good leader knows how to maintain professionalism while building meaningful relations with staff. Don't be afraid to get to know your people personally. After a tough meeting, buy everyone a round of drinks, figuratively speaking, or find other ways to relax and build camaraderie. Get to know them and let them know you too. Meetings hold great potential. By treating each meeting as an opportunity, you can create a culture where meetings are respected and productive and seen as a positive part of the business day. Take lessons from great leaders and don't settle for mediocre meetings. I'm sure all of us this past week or next week, you're going to be in a meeting. Someone's going to call a meeting, or you need to have a meeting with someone. Is it going to be drudgery, or are you going to find ways to be productive and creative and actually get something from that meeting? So I know some of us work for large companies, and you probably have meetings all the time. Do the people that present the meetings to you, do they handle it the way that we've just learned about in these 5 things? I'm guessing, I was going to ask Mike, but it looks like he's not in the picture. We can ask Griff. Griff, you've had meetings with bank personnel, whether they are just members of the bank like you are, or whether they're management. You have meetings. Do you go into the meeting, depends on who's given the meeting, with a bright outlook that you're going to learn something, or they're going to learn from you?
Basically, yeah. Usually that's the case. There are certain meetings I dread, but most of them are fine.
Sure. And how about you, Mike? You're a corporate person. You probably call as many meetings as you are called to.
Well, We at our corporation actually have very few meetings, maybe as compared to other entities our size. I probably call as many in the course of a year as I attend. And I think you got to go into a meeting with a goal. What do you want to accomplish? And you want to go in with energy. Of course, you know, I'm sort of a full energy, glass always half full kind of guy anyway. But you want to have an agenda. You don't want to dilly-dally around. You want to have energy. You want to have a goal. And then you want to be open for any comments. And any meeting that I conduct, I stick around and usually make the comment if anyone has anything of a more personal, confidential nature. Whatever you share with me will not be conveyed to any of your colleagues, and I will protect your privacy. So that's how I conduct meetings.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, like Jeff, when you call a meeting with someone that you're going to be an IT person for, you know what you need to find out from them before the meeting starts. Even if it's, if you're still doing your jacks on Wednesday and you're meeting somebody for the first time, that falls into the purview of these things. If you know ahead of time what you need to know from them. Do you follow that pattern, Jeff?
I make it clear that the first meeting that I have with people when I'm meeting with potential clients is always about learning if we can even work together, which means I have to explain to them how I can solve problems. I need to clarify for them what the problems are, help them express to me in words that make sense to them. It's actually about getting the language right first, helping them understand their problems in such a way that they are real problems or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then finding out if we can click. Because a lot of times, if you're having somebody help you with a problem, you need to personally connect before you can get to the root of the problem, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I'd like to jump in. Tom,
yeah.
can I jump in?
Yes, please, Lee, please.
So one of the things that I think that we're going to all have to deal with, and we probably already are, in the past, we've all dealt with exactly what you described here as a leader in a good meeting, is you want to connect personally and you want to be able to have that social opportunity, buy people a drink, meet after work for a happy hour, et cetera, et cetera. Those things are a little more challenging now for both the COVID reason. People aren't meeting, people aren't going to happy hours. It's harder to do those kind of things. We have to be creative to come up with solutions for that. But at the same time, we're also challenged with where is that fine line to be drawn between connecting with somebody personally and professionally, and making sure that you're not crossing over that fine line with a lot of the different social things that are going on in society right now. You know, you could be perceived incorrectly as stepping over that line. And I think that it's something that leaders need to pay attention to, and figuring out ways to not step over that line and at the same time be creative in reaching out and connecting with people personally.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Lee. And in different ways, all of us have to call meetings for how we proceed in our particular businesses. When Marty is going to sell a house to somebody and they want to talk to him, Marty, do you have like a checklist that you go through when you first meet someone? You have a checklist that you go through that the meeting can be fruitful?
Well, yes. Whether they know it or not, I'm interviewing them.
Okay.
Open and responsive they are. I don't tell them I'm interviewing them particularly, but I want to get where their mindset is at. If this is a project for 2020, or if it's a project in 2021, what's their time span, issues at, and how serious they really are. The luxury buyer is more difficult to work with, in the respect is that they don't need to sell their house, usually.
Mm-hmm.
And so their motivation of, I got to move out of here in 6 weeks, or 2 months is not usually present. And then I had the other extreme is that, well, you know, I need to move out of here in 2 weeks. You know, I'm thinking, you're just now calling me? You know, so you got a broad spectrum of people, how deal with that.
Sure. Especially tenuous during this coronavirus time, when people are, when they meet you and you have a mask on, they have a mask on, and here we're trying to sell a house or buy a house. It's what a strange time we live in. I want to ask Harry
The
about
other thing too. I usually give them homework to do, and I do that on purpose to see how responsive they will be and how serious they are. That will also help me to put them as more of a priority than other people.
Sure. Thank you, Marty. Harry, being that you're in a relatively new and fresh type of business and helping businesses, corporations deal with the modern view of cannabis. When you go into a meeting, like for the first time with somebody, you have, like I asked Marty, I mean, do you have like a checklist? Do you have goals that you want to make sure that the company or the manager or the owner or whoever understands certain things before the meeting is over?
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to my dad taught me how to do things right when we had the beer company too. I try to limit meetings to actually having a goal, communicating it, and then answering questions. So we try to know ahead of, number one, there's a difference between having an informational meeting and sales meetings. So we kind of gauge it like that. But yeah, absolutely. What we go in is, what we found in this industry so far, again, I've gone through this, is there's 20,000 cannabis producers and growers in the United States who are doing it legally at the state level. At some point, they're going to need to get a federal license when the federal government makes it legal. So we're going in and explaining to them how we can help them prepare today instead of waiting until that law is passed. Because it could be passed as soon as mid-2021 if the Democrats sweep the Senate and the presidency. There's a big push for that because it would generate billions of dollars in revenue, 500,000 new jobs, as well as fund some social reform and justice programs. So our goal is to communicate that A, this is going to happen, B, this is what you're going to need to do, and C, we're the best guys to do it for you, whether it's on our expertise, our knowledge, our affordability, et cetera. That's different than holding a meeting with our staff and saying, okay, we expect this out of you, whether it's finding investors for the company.
Sure.
And again, here's, we need investors for the company. This is what we think our company is valuable. Here's the information you can communicate to potential investors. What are the questions and pushback you're getting? So yeah, I can't stand meetings if they're a waste of my time. Yes. I love meetings like this because I think we all, even though there's not always a specific goal, but we always get a lot of good ideas coming out of these things as well. And that's a third type of meeting too, is sitting down with a group of people and getting different ideas. That, I think that's what's a huge value of this group. We come from so many different backgrounds, and we're willing to listen and discuss with each other instead of scream at each other. which is disappearing very fast in this country.
Yeah. You got to be willing to listen.
Yeah. So each thing's different. And as Mike said, you have an objective for a different meeting. And then going back to what Jeff said, when it comes to a client, this goes back to my legal situation. I've had people call me up and say, are you Jewish? And I go, yeah. And then, well, I heard Jewish lawyers were good. And my answer is, well, I appreciate your thoughts, but I don't think I want to do business with you, because I know right away it ain't going to work.
Right. So, if that's the first thing that's on their mind.
Yeah, it's, or it's the same thing with price shopping. I'm calling up to get a price. Well, you're not going to get a price. I want to see if we can work together and how I can help you. Then if I'm for, but yeah, it's meetings are good if they're well defined and everybody can walk away saying they gained something from it too.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
think,
great. Thanks, Harry. Yes, Trina.
I'm so glad you brought up the point of the leader needing to continually steer the meeting back to the agenda and the focus, because I'd say like 80% of the meetings I attend, it seems like the moderator does not know how to do that. They just let the meeting go out of control. And it's so much better when it's well planned and well organized. Not that you're not free to say what you want at any time, but as long as the moderator brings you back and kind of controls it and keeps it moving productively, that's so helpful.
Yeah, that's true. Well, when you have a topic and you know what you want to get across, hopefully you're not going to lose people's attention if they start finding it boring or whatever. You got to think of ways to engage. If you're having a meeting with somebody that you want to buy your product or you want to them to partake of your service, you have to endear yourself to them in some way, just like a presentation, a morning presentation for the network breakfast. When Jeff presents or any of us present, we have to do things to, what your goal is going to be, and you have to try to keep that in mind when people go off on tangents, and you have to sort of, like you say, steer them back. I want to know when RlRord is talking to a new prospective client, do you have like I mentioned with Marty and Jeff and the rest, if you have a checklist or you have things that you need to know ahead of time before you have the meeting so that you know whether it was successful or not? What's Rob?
It depends how serious they are on investing. A lot of times our first meeting is just getting to know them, what they want to do, what their timeline is, what their goals are, and just that first meeting to see if we can actually work together. If you're just looking at investing a couple $100 one time and be done, we might not be able to work. You're hiring me for a reason. Are you going to be micromanaging me and my professionalism, or are you going to trust me and some of the decisions that we make together and let things work the way they're supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole interview process, and sometimes we don't get past the first interview.
Sure.
They're really not that serious, or they're looking for that quick fix. They heard somebody bought some ABC stock or won the lottery and they won $1 million overnight. Well, that's not what I do. We just do good old-fashioned core investing to get you where you need to be and align it with your goals and timeline and everything.
I'm sure.
So.
Yeah, it can be productive, but you need to know what you need to know from them. For example, like they
Right.
think it's going to be you're going to put them into something that's going to triple, quadruple their money in 5 minutes. And that's
Right.
not what you guys at Kennard do. You just protect.
Right. And it's sometimes people are ready to write a check the first time meeting me. I'm like, well, let's slow down here. You don't even know me yet.
Wow.
People don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know, and they just think the first person they talk to is the best for them, and I try to educate them.
Sure.
So that's a little leery too, because I have a couple clients with a couple $100,000 invested in me, and I haven't talked to them ever since the first investment, even though phone calls, emails, regular mails, trying to say, hey, I think we need to make a few changes, and if I don't talk to them, we can't do anything. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
Can I say something about that people don't know what they don't know thing?
Absolutely. Please.
When there is an information asymmetry between you as the expert and the person you're meeting with who is a potential client or partner of some sort or just an informational setting, it's incumbent upon us to bring them to upgrade their knowledge. we have so much power in
Right.
that. We
Yes.
can use it, and they don't even know they're putting themselves at risk by asking questions that we can take advantage of them by answering a certain way, or because they don't know what they don't know, they're in danger. And we put our character, our integrity at risk by not alerting them to that, and by not helping them fix that problem. And that's not really part of this. This is more of a sales process issue or a networking issue than it is a meeting aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But so much of what we have to do is alert people to their, not properly alert people to this, because you can really offend someone. You don't say, that's a stupid idea. You have to tell them, I think I understand what you're asking, but have you considered this, and has anyone ever else discussed this with you? And I think you're using that word to mean something that it doesn't actually mean, and to help them discover and internalize the knowledge. And it can be time consuming and sometimes painful to do this, but if we don't do it, we are, like I said, risking our integrity.
Sure.
It's not worth it.
That's great. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing that. I want to hear from Chris. Chris, our meetings, for your business, are meetings important, and can you always get done what you intend when you have a meeting with somebody that wants to buy windows or gets a hold of you and needs to talk to you, or you go out there? Are meetings that important, or is it just a matter of measurements and dollars?
I never see the person that I'm dealing with. And what happens is they will call me. We'll talk on the phone for about 5 minutes, and I'll ask them some questions. And then I go out and take a look at the property, and then email them back and give them my best guess of what they should do. And sometimes they have a different idea. And when we start to talk, I call it the HGTV expectation. They expect it to be done yesterday, and it's going to be a month, and they can't understand by watching HGTV how it gets done so soon.
Oh, right.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people who believe in that.
Sure.
Nobody would believe it, but I run into it every day.
Right. They're not taking into consideration the time-lapse for photography.
That's right.
Where the 3 weeks they waited for the door and the windows is about 30 seconds of TV time.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
yep.
great.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you
Chris.
and Scott would understand that more than anybody.
Yep.
Speaking of Scott, I want to hear from Scott. When you get signed up, you have a set thing that you need. I mean, you're going to need to know, like if it's an event, you do a headshot, or how do those meetings go? I mean, you have things that
a lot of it. A lot of it is done over the phone. Someone will call me like for a headshot. We'll talk about what they're looking for, what the purpose of it is, what their job is. Are you an architect, or are you a comedian? That would make a totally different headshot. So I kind of get an idea, find out what the color scheme of their website is, so that we can match a background or make a neutral background if they don't know. Like for weddings, I kind of have a set thing. I tell them what I do, how I do it, my pricing, and I also want to find out exactly what they're looking for their wedding, to make sure that I am a good fit. Some people want, something super extravagant, and other people, it's a simple backyard wedding. They're just looking for a photographer to capture a couple pictures. I can do both. So, I want to, find out exactly what they need, what they want, and to make sure that I'm a good fit for them.
Sure.
So
that's how your meeting would go. You need to know what their expectations are, what
correct.
they expect from you, and then you interpret that in a way that may I say it, a master photographer would.
Right. I want to make sure that my style and their style is similar, so that, they'll be happy with the images that I produced for them. Some people want really artistic and black and white, and, no one looking at the camera. Gosh, no, everything must be candid. Well, I kind of do a mixture of the candid and portraits. Grandma she wants the portrait. She wants everybody looking, sitting nice and organized, and the bride and groom want, candid stuff. So it's not only for them, it's for the whole family. So you gotta, find a happy medium and work together with everybody to get, make, you're not just satisfying one person, you got to satisfy a whole family
Sure.
when you do weddings.
Yeah, and I'll bet you probably have a drawer full and maybe even a Facebook page full of testimonials with 1 million thumbs up.
I have
We have all
yes.
seen your
I
work.
love it. I
it is-
really love it
it's as
when
good as it
people
gets.
send letters,
Sure.
when I get a handwritten letter,
Yeah.
thanking me and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's it's great. It makes me feel good.
We can never say it enough of how good you are at what you do. It's amazing.
That's because I have fun doing it.
Sure. And you pick all the right equipment and you have your the idea that what the focus is and the depth of field and all of that stuff is built into how you handle it as a master photographer.
To achieve the image I want or that the customer wants.
Sure. That's excellent. Thank you, Scott. And
Sure.
thank you, everybody, for joining us. And don't forget to watch this video again. It's important stuff, and it'll help you have much better meetings if you go in with knowing what your objective is. And I appreciate all our participants for today. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Network Breakfast, and comment below. And you're welcome, Trina. You're welcome, Lee, Jeff, Chris, Scott, Isaac. Thanks so much. And tell all your friends to watch this video. It's important stuff. And we'd like to think that our contribution to how your meetings go will help you. I'm going to put that up. Thank you so much. Thank you for paying attention. Thanks for sticking out to the end. And we'll see you all again next Tuesday.
All right.
And,
Thank you.
I appreciate
Bye.
everybody.
Trina.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Tom.
much.